Hello, hi everyone, everywhere. This is Let's Talk About It at Formula for Speed with your host, the McLaren-loving Chad.
Yes.
And me behind the camera, the mysterious voice. So, today's topic.
What's your name?
I'm the baby face.
There you go. You gotta say it. You gotta say it. You gotta let the people know.
Fine.
So why are we here, babyface?
We're here because you have a couple of bones to pick. You have an axe to grind. I'm not sure what are some other expressions. So, full disclaimer before we kick off, so that everyone knows, I am a die-hard Mercedes fan.
True.
I was a Mercedes fan when Mercedes wasn't a team on the Formula One grid.
True indeed.
How is that even possible, you say? Allow me to explain. My father, ancient as he was, he watched Formula One and he remembers the Mercedes team from like the early 1900s. When I was born and started watching the sport, there was no Mercedes team on the grid. But my dad would tell me about the Mercedes team and how he was a fan of theirs.
You had power units on the grid, though.
Exactly. But when, he remembers when there was actually a Formula One team that was a Mercedes team.
Right.
So I was always a Mercedes fan.
True.
Even though there was no team on the grid that I could support. So I started liking different teams. I liked BMW, I liked the McLarens for a while.
Yeah.
I also, a German as I am, I really loved Michael Schumacher. I loved watching Ralf Schumacher. But there is something my father taught me since I was a little girl. He said, Ferrari cheats. Ferrari are dishonest. They are underhanded, they are backstabbing, they'll slit your throat, they'll slit their drivers' throats, they will do everything shady they can. And he said to me, they always have someone in the FIA. Always. So I have been indoctrinated with that. So whatever I say tends to fall in line with that because I wholeheartedly agree. So there's my narrative on that. Now you, Sir McLaren fan, I remember when I met you and you told me I like Formula One. I said, oh, so do I. And you said, ooh, I love Michael Schumacher. McLaren is my number one team, but you have to give your hats off to Ferrari. And I said, no, I don't. They are a pack of cheaters.
You did say that.
And you said,
no,
don't say that. And I said, oh, yes, I do. Fast forward all these years. And now, Chad, the McLaren fan, has a couple of things to say about Ferrari, fueled on by the recent 2021 Spanish Grand Prix.
My thing is this, babyface, and I've told you this before. Guys, I feel like when you're branded a cheater, it's almost impossible to get away from, I won, but you could tell people, hey, I won. They're going to be like, yeah, but you cheated, right? So for me, my only thing was when you called them cheaters at first, and guys, let us know what you think about Ferrari and everything going on. I think about guys like Nigel Mansell, who's one of my favorite drivers of all time. Nigel Mansell, Schumi, Barrichello. I feel like when you say Ferrari cheated, it takes away from their legacy, and I don't like that. What I will say is this. Recently, what's been nagging me is I feel like something shady is going on because in 20, terrible. 19, one of the fastest car to me on the grid, right? 19. Now 21, we get to testing. Binotto's saying, hey, we're not focused on the car this year. We're focusing on next year for the rule changes. There may be some, Grand Prix I'm not attending because I know the team's in good hands. I'll say it. I think it's a bluff, but okay. All of a sudden, I'm expecting, they stated Ferrari may have found a little bit more horsepower for this year. Fair enough. You found some gains. Compared to last year, to me, that's a lot of gains. And I think back to when, again, Racing Point supposedly copied the 19 Mercedes car for 20, which I found funny because it's like the teams are admitting this year we can't even beat the Mercedes car from last year, right? So everyone they demanded transparency. One of the main teams demanding was Ferrari, which I found interesting because I'm like, well, if that's the case, if I'm Racing Point, what was sealed off in the records from 19 that you all got handled down, the penalty? What was sealed off? What's in that file? So then I look forward, I'm like, okay, so we'll let it go. Cool. Now we're in 2021. The pace is just too much. It's too many games. You're consistently in the top 5, top 4, top 5, whatever. And I'm like, what was in that file that we don't know? And what was possibly pulled from that 19 car forward to 2021 that we don't know? That's giving you all this pace. Because I'm watching these Ferraris pass guys on the straight, like my McLaren boys, like it's nothing. Right? I'm watching them pass a Mercedes in turns with no problem. What was taken away? What was added? We don't know. And the FIA makes every other team, even with Mercedes, with the DOS system, they happily, hey, one thing I'll give your team, they're straightforward. They're straight up. We don't got nothing to hide. We're not trying to cheat. Take what we have. You guys go through a fine-tooth comb. And they rely on the fact our engineering is so good, we don't have to bend the rules. We just exploit what we can exploit to get the gains. Fair enough. My team does the same thing. With Ferrari as of late, I feel like that's not the same standard being held up for them. You do something, you get in trouble, and all of a sudden no one can know what it was. 20 clearly was something bad. Now 21, now we have all these gains. You found more than a little bit more horsepower. That car looks not on par, and I called this. I said, I feel like that 19 Ferrari is going to start making its way back in, and over the year, you'll start seeing the Ferrari contending. I want to know, are we seeing in 2021 80% of the 19 Ferrari?
Yes.
Are we?
Yes.
And what was sealed off and what was brought back? And we don't know. And I don't feel like that's fair because every other team has to disclose when they get in trouble, not them. And it's coincidental that the guy from the FIA, the head now, former Ferrari guy. But when any other team has something questionable happen, they have to disclose all. I'm not saying, and again, babyface will hear me say this, I won't call them flat out cheaters. What I'll say is something shady is going on. And I don't like it. What is happening? Guys, let me know in the comments. Am I the only one? This has been nagging since race 1. I'm noticing because my team's supposed to be contending for that 3rd spot. Ferrari's in the way, and I didn't expect them to be there because they weren't supposed to be there. Where's this coming from? Babyface, what? Let me know. What are your thoughts?
Well, you know how I feel about Ferrari. Bunch of cheaters.
Do you think they brought back anything from 19?
Yes, I think they did. Because let's be honest. You and I, we don't resist competition.
I love it.
It makes the sport fun.
Yeah, just do it the right way.
So Red Bull, I don't hear you complaining about Red Bull overtaking the McLarens like they're standing still. I don't hear you complaining about the Mercedes overtaking the McLarens like they're standing still. But picking on McLaren for a moment, you can see the progression over the years. With Renault, we saw them, talk about these cars, the most unreliable car. You and I have bets as to how many Renaults were actually going to finish.
You used to bet me a lot.
Yes, because they used to just do not finish. The engine would blow up. A gearbox would blow up. Like they would just... And that was when your boys had the Renaults too, the Renault engine. It was just like, oh, are they going to finish? Are they not going to finish? And so by the time last season came around, we saw the progression of Renault getting better and better and better. So how is it? This is quite a drastic improvement. And we've watched the sport long enough to know what an aggressive progression in development looks like. This is beyond aggressive progression. This is one of those, you pulled out something that was already there. And I don't think you sandbag that, because when they got fined, and when the records were sealed, Ferrari was trash last season. Let's just call it the way it is. Ferrari was trash. We were all shocked, me included. Mind you, I'm not a Ferrari fan, but I was loving the competition out front. All of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, I'm not used to seeing the red cars all the way in the back, not making it out of Q2 or Q3 barely.
Yeah.
That just wasn't normal. But now, you're up front, you are passing the Mercedes, you are giving one of the Red Bulls a run for their money. How? And I agree with you wholeheartedly. Everyone else has to show their hand and their cards, so that to make sure that it's competitive and even on the field. But no one is saying anything about the Ferraris. We don't know.
Right.
What it is that you did that was illegal, because what makes it worse, and I'm sure everyone on here is going to follow the logic, if we don't know what was illegal, how do we know if you're doing similar things to what we were fined for before?
I feel like a lot of the teams, to me, and guys, let me know if you differ. If you have a different opinion, babyface, let me know if you differ. I feel like teams are scared to say something about Ferrari because they're afraid of what may come if they say something. Now I do.
Well, the friggin' head of the FIA is the former Ferrari CEO and team principal.
Right. And I feel like the only two teams that can say something but that are not affected by Ferrari right now, Red Bull and Mercedes. McLaren, right? I'm surprised McLaren's not making a little bit of more of a splash like, hey, what's going on?
Probably because McLaren is doing the very thing that you're going on about often. They're probably just focusing on themselves. They're like, you know what?
I get it.
It is what it is. We are just going to do what we have to do to get our guys out
there. And
I
feel like McLaren's probably looking like, if we do say something, what good is it going to do?
I agree with you.
Right.
So frankly, I don't think that there's any value in them saying anything as teams.
I think they all need to get together. If they got together collaboratively and said, we all want to know what's going on, their hand is forced in. But I don't see that happening.
At this point, I think that whatever Ferrari's doing, is it ridiculous to the point that they are challenging championships and they are all the way up front? No. I think they are cheating under the radar with what they feel they can get away with.
Yeah, do I think they brought back the whole 19 car? But but I think they brought back some stuff from 19 clearly, because to not have pace at all last year, and all of a sudden now you have pace, you didn't do that much developmental stuff. You brought something came back that you figure out a way to kind of like, okay, we can't bring it all back, but we can bring some of it back. Something doesn't seem right with that car.
It doesn't, and again, there's no ill will against Carlos Sainz.
Two great drivers. Leclerc and Sainz are great. I mean, they're great drivers.
Carlos Sainz had a hard time getting used to the Ferrari, and he was making a couple of mistakes in one race, and he still was able to weasel his way through the entire pack.
I think fifth or sixth. He's still.
So again, where is all this power and speed coming from?
Then a lot of the Defaulty fans, what cracks me up about the Ferrari fans, I find this interesting. A lot of the comments I was reading, some of the Instagram comments. Yeah, we demand to know with calling out Racing Point, and I'm like, wait a minute, you all, not you. First of all, if you're demanding Racing Point disclose, where's your disclosure? Where's your disclaimers? Where is your file? If I'm Racing Point, I'm saying that's great. I'll disclose when you disclose.
Listen, I'm a Mercedes fan. My second team is Red Bull. Mercedes had the DAS system last season.
Wasn't illegal.
They showed how it worked.
Now the new rules say it's no longer.
We don't have it this season, but guess what?
Yeah. We
didn't all of a sudden go to the end of the pack, because guess what? It didn't give us such an advantage.
Thank you. Yeah.
That we just went out here winning constructors and championships. Without the bloody DAS system, we're still running out front. So Ferrari, when you all got fined, you went from contending to the back of the pack.
It's true.
Now you're again
the front of the pack.
Not the front, but you're pretty darn close.
To me, the front of the pack is when you're running 4 and 5. That's front to me. I will say this: 19 Mercedes didn't have the DAS system. Neither did they have it in. They didn't have it in 19. They were still one of the best cars. 20 was the only year they had it, and they clearly dominated because of that system. And it was ahead of the curve with that. They took it away now, amongst other things, to put.
And we're still ahead of everyone else.
Well, you're not. To me, you're not ahead of Red Bull, but you're making it work. You're winning, and that's because you have the best driver on the grid. And I will say this: to me, you all are making it work because of team, the driver, and how you guys are structured. Red Bull still has the strongest car, but to me, Ferrari, man, that's just like, man, back of the pack last year, and all of a sudden, now you could say you had Leclerc last year, now you have Sainz. Even still, that car should not be this strong this year, to me. So guys, I'm done griping. I'm not going to harp on it long. You guys let us know in the comments how you feel about Ferrari's pace from 19 to 20, 20 to 21. What's going on? Let us know your thoughts. Ferrari fans, speak on it, please. I'm welcome to be proven wrong. If I'm wrong, hey, she'll tell you. I'll stand by it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. But I don't know about this one, guys. Let me know what you think. Guys, let us know. Again, how do you feel, babyface? You told me how you felt. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. You stated how you felt. Mm-hmm. I stated how I felt. But we want to know how you all feel. Mm-hmm. Ferrari, what's going on? Let us know. Because I'm interested to see. I'm curious. This is a big leap from last year. So, guys, again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for letting us get it off our chest how we feel about Ferrari. Mm-hmm. Mark my words, I don't think they're going anywhere this year. I think you're going to see much more improvement from this race going forward.
Fine, bring it on.
And it's going to bother me because I want to know what's going on with that car because my guys are affected by this. You know, I have a best of the rest team, I feel. So, you know, let us know, guys. Again, this is Chad, my lovely host, Babyface. We're Formula for Speed, and we appreciate you tuning in. If there's any other topics you guys want to discuss, let us know in the comments, and we'll be happy to just cover them. Again, we'll see you next time.